If you'd really changed, you wouldn't have come here.
Oh, if you'd really changed, you wouldn't have let me.
Hi, I'm Kate Hahn with TV Insider, and we are speaking with Jodie Comer and Sandra Oh about the fourth and final season of Killing Eve. Now, ladies, the last time we saw your characters, they were on Tower Bridge, and they were trying to part ways. When we come back, some time has passed, and they both seem very different from the last time we saw them. So, Sandra, can you talk about how Eve is different in season 4?
Sure. In some ways, I think the entire series is about how they're trying to part ways. At the very top of season 4, you really see Eve changed. You really see how Eve has integrated certain parts of, in some ways, certain parts or certain influences of Villanelle. You see her, how she's different physically. You see that she's gained skills. You see that she's spent time learning how to fight or using weapons or using, being able to ride a motorcycle. But still always with that focus. But this focus is specifically and still on the revenge mission to get to the 12. I really wanted to start the season with a certain change because, at the end of season 3, it's one of the first, I think actually the first scene is when they're dancing, but on the bridge, it's really one of the first scenes where they really speak to each other, that Eve and Villanelle really speak to each other and really admit to each other what's going on, and also really in for a brief moment align themselves, because all this stuff about the 12, how the 12 has affected them both, has been equally destructive, and they almost have only each other to kind of depend on. But for me, at the beginning of 4, I wanted to start Eve in a different place, and within that has been the effort to lead her life without Villanelle.
So, Jodie, how is Villanelle different going into this season?
She's turned into a big bowl of fluff.
Not really.
No, not
she
really.
wants to.
With a big stone in the middle.
Yeah.
No, so she's put her faith in God. She's found the church, and she is on this quest to be good, whatever that means. I think a lot of things have stuck with her that people have said, whether it be Eve or her mom, and this idea of you will never change. You will always be this person who stands for such terrible things, and that is who you are. And I think she is so determined to prove that wrong. So I think her intentions are all a little bit skewed. And she is kind of really confronted by the part of herself that she can't escape. But she's really threw herself into the church life. She's created the Parishioner of the Week award. She's really kind of getting involved with the community, which is, kind of fun to see her do when she is put in those situations that are kind of very alien to the usual.
Well, fashion is such a huge part of this show, and they both start out the season with very different looks than we've seen. Jodie, could you talk about, you mentioned the church, could you talk about what it's like to step into that sort of red cardinal robe with the white rough collar?
Yeah, well, the robe and the collar were fabulous, but my favorite was they kind of go on this trip with the church, and I had these awful denim shorts on that went just above my kneecap, with thick socks and Velcro sandals, and a fleece.
Yep.
And it was so bad. I thought it was brilliant. And it was those kind of fashion moments where I actually really love.
But Sandra, you have, we glimpse you in the trailer, and you are in the coolest, sexiest, low back black dress. What's it like to be able to wear those kinds of looks when Eve was schlubby for so long?
Thank God. Thank God for a hot second, I get some fantastic chic wardrobe. That's also the very specific integration of Villanelle's character or influence on Eve, and it was great to play. It was really fun to play. And then of course the blonde wig for me was Faye Wong and Wong Kar-wai's Chungking Express, because it was just like, for me, I just love that movie, and I was like, well, how do you feel like Eve would be? And you know, in the writing of it was like, she's in a wig, and we're like, oh, it should be this kind of wig, and it's just like, these are just quick moments, but you know, it's fun to have thought and that just the thought and design behind them.
Could these two women ever have a happily ever after together? We actually see them in the trailer with other romantic partners, which is a little distressing to all of us. But could they ever have a happily ever after together?
You don't want it. You're asking for it, but you don't want it. You don't want it.
That?
Why? Because there's something I think so innate, and that's just the power of romance, the power of desire, the power of longing, which we are all in the midst of all the time. And it's just to try and see how these two characters are trying to make it work is I think what viewers are trying to figure out from themselves all the time.
Now, we'd love to see them work together again. Now, is there a possibility they could link up this season?
I mean, they could, but they couldn't.
Yeah. I mean, there's 8 episodes to explore, so you'll have 8 chances to see how that happens or not.
Killing Eve premieres Sunday, March 6th on BBC America. Also Monday, March 7th on AMC. For more insider videos like this, hit subscribe.